Hi, pleased to say I've actually done a blog. I've done a couple of blogs. I've done a couple of blogs recently. I must be on a roll. I did one for the HSOH.co.uk, what can go wrong in a hypnotherapy room, and for LorraineGleeson.com I have done hypnotherapy. You are in control. You decide. And this was a client, I actually saw her for OCD, and she's suffered with OCD for quite a while now, actually as far back as she can remember. And when I facilitate hypnotherapy with clients, I admire each and every client that walks through our door, because they're going to give something up, and it's a big thing to do. And particularly when it's, OCD, it's a big habit. It could, it gets to the stage where it controls people's lives. When I actually teach how to work with OCD, I always say, with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, I'm sure you knew what that was anyway. Obsessive compulsive disorder, it's without a shadow of a doubt more than one session. And with OCD, clients can take 2 steps forwards, you can take 1 step back, and then 3 steps forwards, 1.5 steps back. And some weeks it'll be good, and some weeks not so good. It was the first time I'd seen Amy, and have I written what her OCD was? I think it was health OCD, which is something that's happened an awful lot since COVID. So it was her first session, and you come along, and that first session is all about meeting me as a therapist, finding out what is going on in your life, and then finding out how you actually want to be. And with something like OCD, remembering, was there a time when you were fine, when you were in control, when you weren't doing this habit? And once we've achieved that, I then explain what hypnosis is. Now, I like to do, and what I say, it's an arm assurance. I make one arm heavy and one arm light. That's the other way around. One arm heavy, one arm light is the way I like to work with clients. And I explain it as an assurance procedure, because the fact is, hypnosis is so simple. We drop in and out of hypnosis all day, every day. We spend more time in hypnosis than we do in any other state. It's when we're focusing our minds. It's when we're relaxing. It's when we're driving. It's when we're listening to music or delving into a really good book. Talking of which, what do you think of this? It was a Christmas present for me. Hypnotherapist, because badass miracle worker isn't an official job title. I love this book. I think it's great. Yeah, by the way, it's not a reading book. It's a writing book. It's where I keep notes and everything. And when you are really focused in that book, you're in hypnosis because you're using your imagination, you're reading the characters. That's if you're reading a fiction book, not a textbook. Hopefully you're focusing and you're learning the techniques. But whatever you're doing, you are focusing. So the thing is with hypnosis, it's not mind control. You are not out of control. There are times when you play the recordings that you do go very, very deep. But the first time you meet a therapist, you're naturally inquisitive and you want to find out information. You want to keep alert just to check we're not turning into chickens or anything like that. Why therapists would want to do that, I don't know, but hey ho, some might. I always call it an assurance procedure. The truth is, it's really a suggestibility test. So when the client's relaxed in hypnosis, the way I do it is I make one arm heavy, one arm light, and then I go on and I facilitate an IMR, and then I start doing some work, and then I count the client up out of hypnosis. Well, sure enough, took Amy into hypnosis. You are still in control when you're in hypnosis. No two ways about it. And then I always go for the left arm first. So I lifted the left arm in the air, and I did all the hypnotic language for her to find that her left arm's going to feel very, very light. And then I did the right arm in the air, and I suggested this one's going to get heavier and heavier. So Amy did the absolute opposite. She brought the light hand down and she left the heavy one in the air, which is fine by me. I do not like the word that a client is resisting. I just, to me, the suggestibility test, or as I call them, assurance procedure, is so I can see if my client is following my simple instructions. And that's what hypnotherapy is all about. Following what the therapist is asking you to achieve. You can choose at any point, just as Amy did, to do the opposite to what I've asked you, and so you should. It should not be mind control. Nobody should be in control of your mind other than you. And yes, some people go very, very deep into hypnosis very, very quickly. Other people it takes time. It's all about cooperation. Well, from what I saw and from my experience, I knew that Amy I know exactly what was going on in her head. That arm is not feeling light at all. This arm is feeling heavy. This is feeling heavy. And because she's saying that in her mind will follow that instruction. So I knew exactly what was happening. So anyway, I carried on. I did do an eye lock afterwards, which she actually did because I didn't warn her about it. So, I could see she was beginning to relax. And then I went on and I did my usual. I facilitated some change, and then I did the clinical bit of the positive suggestion, counted her up out of hypnosis. And I knew what she was going to say because the whole time she was focusing on the fact that one arm, the light arm was heavy and the heavy arm was light. I knew what she was going to say. And that was, sure enough, her first words when she came up out of hypnosis. And I said to her, but the thing is, Amy, it isn't mind control. And I did explain to her then how it's a suggestibility test. And I said, look, it's entirely up to you. The good thing is nobody can make you force you to do anything against your will. If you do want help with your OCD and you do want to find yourself getting well, you have to decide whether you are going to follow my instructions or not. I will email the recording over to you, and then if you find yourself going along with it, then I am quite happy to make another appointment. So, I blogged about it because clients so often worry that we're going to take control of them, and that it's the exact opposite. What we do is we help them to feel good. So if you want to have a look at the blog, that's at lorrainegleeson.com. And if you have enjoyed this video, can you please click to follow us below? Thank you.